Back in April, Eliud Kipchoge ran over that iconic bridge on his way to his 4th London Marathon victory. And if the race itself wasn't exciting enough, just a week later he announced that he's going to be taking part in a special event to try and finally crack the 2-hour barrier that continues to elude the professionals and is often hailed as the last great milestone in athletics.
If you're thinking that you've heard me talk about all of this before, then you're not wrong. A couple of years ago, Nike completed a similar event with Kipchoge and a team of runners with the same goal in mind. I even made a video breaking down the pace of how fast you'd need to go in that project that was famously called Breaking 2, and so far it's the closest that anyone has come to the target.
Now, if Kieran here looks familiar, it could be because you've seen him in one of my previous videos, the London Marathon, or running really quickly in one of the other countless races he's taken part in over the years.
And if Sam here looks familiar, you could be one of well over 1 million people that watched his video a few years ago where he documented Eliud Kipchoge's attempt at running the sub 2-hour marathon.
But that was then, and this is now. And like we said, Kipchoge's got a brand new event lined up. Kipchoge took to the grounds of Iffley Road, the very track where Sir Roger Bannister famously broke the 4-minute mile for the first time in history to announce the Ineos 159 challenge.
So what can we expect going forward?
Details about the project have been quite slow to come out, but one thing that we do know is that this project is being funded by Jim Ratcliffe, whose Ineos company clearly know a thing or two about endurance events.
Not only did they win the Tour de France this year, but they also took 2nd place.
So they clearly know a thing or two about how to put together training and infrastructure for an event like this.
If we look at Kipchoge's performances, we can see a noticeable improvement in the times he ran before the Breaking 2 project and then after. If you exclude the wet and slippery Rio Olympics, the 4 races in the build-up to that project averaged out to 2 hours, 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Remarkable by itself. But take the 4 races he's run since the Breaking 2 project, and that average is now a whole minute faster.
Which is a huge margin when you consider he's already at that top elite level, and especially when there's only 25 seconds left to take off.
We're slowly learning more and more about the project, and now we know the venue. There was a lot of talk about the event taking place in London, specifically here in Battersea Park. With a rich tradition in distance running, hosting some of the fastest times over 10k ever run on British soil, here seemed like the obvious choice to most. However, the marathon is a whole different kettle of fish, and the Ineos team wanted to make sure everything was perfect on the day, taking into account road surface, undulation, weather, corner efficiency, and a whole host of other variables. The team's search for the perfect venue forced them to look further afield.
To here, Vienna in Austria.
The area of the city that's been chosen is known as the Hubtali. This course boasts a 2.7 mile long straight and a turn at either end. But it's these turns that seem to be the cause for concern in all the discussion building up to the event. They look like they could be a potential rhythm breaker, and it feels like these are going to be the bit that make or break the event. Now the big roundabout doesn't look like too much of a worry, because even though it's not ideal to have a full 180-degree turn, it is spread out over about 850 metres, which hopefully should be gentle enough to maintain speed and not screw up the team's rhythm. This is the part that everyone is worried about. This turn again is another 180 degrees around a roundabout. However, it's only spread out over about 250 metres, making it much tighter and therefore much more difficult to run with maximum efficiency. This is the type of small margin that could be the difference between 1:59.59 and 2 hours and 10.
So this all sounds a bit scary, but the way to put it in perspective is that a track bend is only over 100 metres.
People carry speed around here, okay?
So think about it as cutting both ends off the track and putting it together. That doesn't sound so bad.
Pacemakers will be essential to the success of this event, and they'll be running in a similar fashion to how they did in Nike's Breaking 2 run. This means that there'll be multiple groups switching in and out throughout the course to keep up with the relentless sub 2 hour pace. We learned during Project 5 just how important having a pacemaker is. And while Sam had to deal with just having me, Kipchoge is spoilt with an absolutely star-studded lineup, including some of the world's best runners such as the Ingebrigtsen brothers, Paul Chelimo and Bernard Lagat.
Things are already looking optimistic, and one thing the Ineos team have focused on that we think will make all the difference is the crowd!
The experiment at Monza was remarkable, and every condition was controlled to near perfection, but it did feel a little cold, sterile. Despite the huge energy put in by all the athletes and the team around them, the experience felt like it lacked that warmth and buzz that you can only get from a live audience. And so, Ineos have actively invited everyone to get involved and cheer him on as he hopefully runs into the history books.
The one thing that separates Kipchoge from just about everybody else is his mentality. He stresses the importance of a peaceful mind and self-belief. A great anecdote that I have personally, which really brought that home to me, is I was lucky enough to share a tent with him before the London Marathon. Now, 1 hour and a half before the race, everybody else is sort of pacing nervously, doing all their stretches and everything like that. Kipchoge is fast asleep. He knows he can do it. He knows he's going to win. He knows what he needs to do. His mind is at ease and he's ready to go. Surprise, surprise, Kipchoge wins the race in a course record time. Amazing.
So the day for the event is drawing closer. The Ineos team have said that October the 12th is their ideal day, but there is some allowance around that for weather conditions and such as well.
So all that's left for us to do is make our predictions. Sam, what do you reckon is going to happen?
I trust in the Ineos team to have prepared everything, due to their work with the Tour de France and everything. I trust that they know what they're doing and they've learned enough lessons from Nike. I think that Eliud Kipchoge can do it, and I think that he will do it, and I think that he's going to get something like 1:59.48. It's going to be super close, but I believe that he can do it.
So I agree Kipchoge can do it. I agree Ineos team, they're on top of their game. They clearly know what they're doing in endurance sports, and I also agree that it's going to be really, really close. But I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's just going to miss it. I think he's going to run about 2 hours, no minutes, and like 12 seconds. I think it's going to be closer than Monza, but it doesn't seem to quite have that same magic which is required to take him over the line. Perhaps it's not scientific enough, who knows?
Who knows? The one thing that we do know is that it's not down to us, it's only down to one man, so we wish him the best of luck.
Over to you, Eliud.